Have you ever noticed that with all of the advice out there on how to attract a man, there's much less information on whether a man is worth attracting? No one double checks to make sure that the man you want to attract is even worth the investment. It's just assumed that if you want him, you can have him. Now, I was told this explicitly in the early days of my work as a dating coach. I was told your job is not to tell women who they should want. Your only job is to get them the man they do want. But the longer I did this work, the more I saw women desperately working to try to win the affections of men who did not treat them all that well. And it became harder and harder to stay silent. Yes, it was not my job to tell them that they shouldn't want what they want. But surely it was my job to teach them what a healthy relationship looked and felt like, so they knew how it felt to be loved. Now, we don't always know how it feels to be loved like that, but we do know how to love. In fact, I think we know how to love really, really well. Our hearts are so big and so generous that when we give our heart away, we don't want it back. We want him to keep our heart forever. And we don't ask for our heart back even when things get bad, even when he hurts us, even when it seems like he no longer loves us. And this quality of ours, which is so beautiful, can end up burning us badly. Because when a man has our heart, it is so hard to criticize him. It's so hard to admit that he has something precious of ours that he's not taking care of. It's impossible to imagine leaving while he still has our heart, but we don't know how to get it back. We don't even want it back. We're torn. And so instead, we choose to believe that there is a way to change him. Surely the problem is not that we've given our heart to somebody who's destroying it little by little. Surely the problem is that he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand how badly he's hurting us. He doesn't understand the depths of our love. He doesn't understand what a beautiful love story this could be. And if we can only make him understand, then he'll want to change. He'll want to be the man that we know he's capable of being. Hi, I'm Amy Waterman. I'm a love expert here at yourbrilliance.com. And if you are new here, welcome. I hope you stick around. In this video, I tackle the thorny question of what makes men change? So what makes a man who's been treating you poorly or indifferently treat you well again? Now, be warned, you might find my conclusions controversial, but this is a conversation I think we need to be having. It seems like there should be some trick to make him fall in love with you again. Because after all, you remember what it was like in the early days of your relationship. You remember how wonderful it was. You remember what a gentleman he was. And you just wish you had the old him back. Now, sometimes you do. Sometimes he wakes up and he acts like his old self. But more often you're seeing a man who takes you for granted, who expects you to cater to his needs, and isn't all that interested in you. But no matter, because you still believe in him. You believe that that man you fell in love with is still inside. And so maybe you look for information on how to make him fall in love with you again, because that idea gives you so much hope. You will follow this advice, it will work for you, and he will realize exactly what it is he has with you. He will open his heart and you will fall into it and you will never be apart again. Just think about what a love story that would be. But right now, it is just a story, and it's a somewhat unlikely story at that. Because in real life, change requires more than a magic bullet. Change in your relationship dynamics takes patient, persistent work. Now, you can give him a jolt of passion, you can turn on his obsession chemicals, but chances are he will go right back to treating you the way he's been treating you. And that's because the way he treats you is the way he is used to treating women in relationship. It's just a habit. It's a reflection of who he is. It's not a reflection of how he feels about you. So making him fall in love with you again may not be what you need. What you really need is for him to commit to do better. He's got to see that the way he's acting isn't loving and it doesn't reflect the man he wants to be. He's got to be open to learning new ways of talking with you, new ways of respecting you, new ways of coordinating with you. He's got to be willing to try and fail and try again. And he may have never seen a man do that. He may have never seen a relationship before where a man listened to a woman and thoughtfully considered what she said and worked with her to find a solution. And it is really, really hard to do something we have never seen before. It's going to take motivation and dedication and determination. He's got to be really motivated to push past that resistance and discomfort. His friends may make fun of him for working on his relationship. An inner voice may tell him that it isn't manly to share power with his girlfriend. So what could be powerful enough to motivate him like that? If his feelings for you aren't enough to get him to change, what will? From what I've seen, there's only one energy source powerful enough to fuel this kind of work. It's his desire to be a better man. For so many men, being a man is everything. It's not just their identity, it's their purpose. And at the end of the day, they judge themselves by whether they were man enough. If you're with a man who defines being a man as showing up for my girlfriend as a gentleman protector and passionate lover, then you will get a very different relationship than if you're with a man who defines being a man as being in charge, having lots of sex, and always winning. Now, I've spoken before on how important it is to find out what being a man means to your guy, because his views on manhood will have a huge impact in your relationship. Some men think that a real man never gets tied down by a woman. He keeps women in their place. He never lets a woman prevent him from going his own way. While other men think that a real man makes commitments, raises a family, and contributes to his community. A real man sacrifices. A real man keeps his word. So keep this in mind. His desire to be a man is one of the greatest motivating forces in his life. It's often more powerful than his romantic feelings because women come and go, but his legacy as a man lasts forever. And finally, don't assume that the way a man treats you reflects his feelings towards you, because his behavior is often a result of his belief system. The way men treat you often reflects the way they think men should treat women. Some men think that a man should wine and dine a woman in the beginning, and then once they're together, it's the woman's job to bring him beer and food. And you need to find this out before you give your heart away. So talk to him about what being a man means to him. Ask him who his greatest role models are. Ask him what qualities a real man possesses. And then think very carefully about what his answers say about who he would be as a partner. I am sending you lots and lots of love. I want you to take really good care of yourself, and I will see you next time.